Hey everyone, on today's episode, we've got artist Dan LuVisi going to be joining us via Skype. Plus, we're talking all things Doctor Who with some local Doctor Who improv players. And I've got an awesome 10 things list for you that you're not going to want to miss. It's all this and more on today's episode of Fanservice. Don't go anywhere. Alright, so welcome back to Fanservice. We are super excited because we've got this awesome artist on now. I kind of got a hold of a review copy of a book called The Last Man Standing KillBook. Now, I had kind of heard about Last Man Standing over the couple years, and I was not expecting at all what I got.
He has been gushing about how awesome it is.
So we want to welcome Dan LuVisi to the show. Hey Dan, how are you?
Good, how are you?
We are doing really good. Welcome to Fanservice. Sorry about the late timing and everything, but you know, we're going to get this going on. So when we bring in guests, we always start with a gauntlet. So I'm going to ask you about 5 questions and a bonus round question. You tell me the first thing that comes to your mind, okay?
Okay.
All right, number 1. If you could be any superhero, who would you be?
Batman.
Batman. He didn't have to think about that. That was awesome.
All right.
If you could redesign any superhero from scratch, which one do you want to tackle?
Batman.
Batman again.
He just wants to redesign him to look like him.
Would you like to turn him into Frogman or something?
Is there a Frogman? Is that even real?
That's probably a Marvel Comics like 3rd tier character, I would guess.
Yeah, it sounds like one where they're getting a little uncreative.
All right, so action films are full of big names like Indiana Jones, and I can't think of the rest because I had a whole list of them a second ago. If you could pit any action film character against Gabriel from Last Man Standing, who would you want to throw in the arena with him?
Boba Fett.
Boba Fett. I would not have even thought about a Star Wars character. Holy crap, that's awesome.
This is your guy. I'm so glad that you get to talk.
So,
He's who inspired Gabriel in the first place. Wolverine and Boba Fett are pretty much Gabriel, in essence.
Yeah, that's essentially it right there. So, number 4, your book, Last Man Standing KillBook, is full of so many characters. If you had to cast yourself as one, who would you cast yourself as?
It's actually funny that you asked that. If the movie ever comes to life and it does become one, I want to get killed in each one of the films. So I would probably just be a random bystander. I'm not strong enough or handsome enough to be any of the male characters. And I don't think I can pull off any of the female outfits. So.
Are you really sure? I'm pretty sure some sparkles and some bedazzled would really go
I don't know. He's got a nice beard and glasses. You could probably pull off some of the guys.
Even Kathy thinks you're cute.
Oh, thank you.
Number 5. The Last Man Standing KillBook's full of little doodles of products like vinyl toys and all sorts of things. Which one do you think would actually be fun as a real-life product?
Shoot. Is that including like the weapons or anything from the book?
Yeah, the weapons, anything.
I would love to have Gabriel's shotgun. It's towards the end, or his sword, or his pistols, or anything really from that. I don't know. I would like anything.
See, I would like the Nut Charger drink because it's like a bring you back to life drink. I would go buy those from 7-Eleven.
Well,
those are just called monsters.
Hold on.
And Red Bulls combined.
All right, so here's the bonus question. Now, you mentioned the possibility of a Last Man Standing movie, and we all know how sci-fi likes to make bootleg versions of blockbuster movies. So what would sci-fi name the bootleg version of Last Man Standing?
Shoot. I don't know. Probably Last Merc Standing, which was what it was going to be originally, but then I was like, for the people that don't know what a mercenary is, they're probably not going to get it. So I just changed it to Last Man Standing. But actually, if there ever was one, I would appreciate it because essentially that's what LMS is. It's pretty much poking fun at all like big budget movies and sci-fi video games and all that stuff. So I would love to see one.
Which I have been gushing about this book.
He has.
Because it was like I dumped out my box of toys as a kid where I had robots, Battle Beasts, G.I. Joe, Star Wars characters, and they were all in the world together playing. And I was just like, I love this book.
He loves this almost as much as he loves Minecraft, which, if you haven't seen the show before, is high praise indeed.
Minecraft is crazy. And so we only have about 5 minutes, and I want to show you something before we go. You want to help me with this, Chris Rachel? This is how obsessed I am with your book. We made a baton gun. Like, my brother, I forced him to make a baton gun because I was like...
The family that kills together probably survives at least 3 or 4 more pages together.
Because this was the weapon of the samurai. And I was like, you have to make this. So they've been working on it. What do you think?
Since you're delayed on the screen, put it up a little closer so I can see it, if you can. Yeah, because I'm a little delayed. So when I'm watching the stream, there you go. That's awesome. That's actually very flattering. Thank you.
Right? So where did the idea for the KillBook come from?
The KillBook came from, actually, it really didn't spawn from anything. I was tired of working for other people. And because, I would put out designs that I thought were cool that others didn't want to use. So I got to the point where I just started drawing my own characters. And then eventually, some of the people that were watching were like, what is this for? Is this for a book or a series? And I was like, just something called Last Man Standing. And eventually, once I designed Gabriel, I knew what I had. I knew he was the main character. So I figured I had this basic idea, like, what if a bounty hunter broke into a police station or something, and he stole a bunch of folders of, convicts that were out there, and he went after them, and this was those folders. And what was supposed to be a 30-page book turned into a 275-page book. And then it just kept on growing and growing and growing. And still to this day, 5 years later, I'm still coming up with more stuff for it. So yeah, that's where it spawned from.
Which I like the idea because this has been around for a while, and I think this is the second printing of your book.
Yeah, it came out in 2010. I started in 2008, came out in 2010, and then originally through Heavy Metal, and then it got picked up just earlier this year by Dark Horse. And I was given a month to go through the whole book, change anything, add anything that I wanted, and I just went to town on it and tried to put in as much stuff. That's what that whole last section is.
Yes.
And then there's a lot of other things that I added in there. I don't know if you guys have seen the original one, but it's a lot different.
No, it's one of those things that's kind of been on the peripheral vision that people have told me, things that you got to go look at, things you got to look for. And then I just happened to get a review copy through a PR firm, and I was like, oh my God, what is this? I was like, you have to look at this. And of course, baton gun. Everything in that book was just screaming exactly what I love and what most of us here on Fanboy TV love, just over-the-top, crazy, zany action. Almost primed exactly for a movie. Now, I'm a little worried when you talk about the movie idea because there's so many characters and there's such a rich history in this book. How do you think they're going to be able to translate that to the big screen where it's going to give it justice?
Basically, how many people are you going to have to trim out because there's only so much love to go around in 2 hours?
Yeah.
No, for sure. Well, that was actually on the movie. I already read the script, and there was characters that just felt like they were being pushed in there for no reason, and I told them, like, take those out. Like, they don't need to be in there if they don't serve a point. I'm really, I was telling my friend today, I'm very flattered that they want to make a movie out of it. If it ever sees the light of day, that's awesome. But I'm really focusing on the comic, because I feel like the comic is the story that I really want to tell. And a lot of people, well, not a lot of people, but people that usually see LMS just from the pictures, they think it's just all flash and there's no substance because it's just girls in hot outfits and guys looking cool. And it's really not that. If people were to just wait for the actual comic, it's really like a social commentary on America and the pop culture phase that we're in, and the entertainment and films and all the corporations and conglomerates and reality shows and musicians and all this stuff that's kind of annoying right now that you wish wasn't here. Gabriel is that character that gets rid of it for you. And that's the story that I want to tell.
I think that's an awesome story.
Comics are something that, I grew up reading comics, but these days I don't know how many of them I would actually give to kids. As a comic artist, how do you feel about the transition from comics being something that used to be almost entirely a kid's medium to now being something that you really don't want somebody under 12 seeing most of them out there?
I guess it's the same thing as the video game situation. I don't believe that these things inspire kids to do it. I think that usually they're messed up before they even touch it.
Oh, definitely.
It's just allowing that one, and I'm not saying that you're saying that, but it's just allowing that one trigger to go off, no pun intended, and to allow them to flip. And I feel like your average person that's normal, can take it in and be okay with it. Growing up, I would draw people being torn in half by T-Rexes, a lot of terrorist and like counter-terrorist type images for my friends. And a lot of stuff that my teachers thought were wrong and that I shouldn't be drawing, but I've never heard a fly before, you know, like never gone on a fight, never done this or that. So I think it's just really on that person. So, you know, I don't think this comic or even this book is suggested for kids, but at the same time, like, there's worse stuff out there.
Oh, totally.
You know?
I didn't mean that in a censorship type of way. I meant more that comics were what, like the kids' comics were what really got me into it. Like I remember reading like Excalibur when they did the British spinoff of the X-Men and really, really enjoying that. And there just aren't that many things that are good intro level ones for kids to get them in. I feel like the whole industry has sort of aged along with its demographic. And I'd like to see them bring more people in from, you know, that influential age when you might be still thinking about cigarettes or comics.
Yeah, exactly.
Cigarettes or comics?
You know, yeah, if you've got a limited amount of allowance to spend, what are you going to spend it on? Cigarettes or comics, kids? That's why we need better comics.
Well, you know, I think comics are fine the way they are. Like, I don't seem to have the same issue. But he brought up a good point in that just because a comic or you like explosion movies like we do doesn't mean you're going to go out and explode things. Some people just have different forms of entertainment.
It's true. I threaten him on a regular basis, and yet no one is sending me cigarettes in prison to do his murder.
Not yet.
Yet.
You should hear me when I play Call of Duty. I turn into a dark person. But, you know, the moment I turn off that system and stop playing that terrible game, you know, like I can wake up and be like, okay, I'm good. It's just some dumb kid that keeps on killing me. I'm good. I can move on from it. But I think we all have that dark side, actually.
And I think it's very cathartic to get
I think
get
it's
out of
just
that.
it's all about rationality. That's why people go to jail for doing stupid things, because they're not rational about it. I mean, there's people I see all the time that piss me off and that make me really angry. And it's like, why are you here? But then I'm like, instead of doing something, which I would never do, I'll just put you in my comic or make fun of you in my book. So
And
it's
that's
just
a
like
healthy way to handle it. So, Last Man Standing comes out Tuesday, correct?
supposed to. I mean, I think so.
He's
It's
like,
supposed to.
I hope so. All right, so Dan, thanks for being on the show. Sorry we had such bumps getting you here, but I love talking to you, and maybe we'll try to get you on again sometime with maybe more props. Like, I freaking love this thing. I just, wow, yes. So good luck with the book, and I definitely will try to get you on the show again in the future because you're just awesome.